since 2014. They were 9-0. Ole Miss hits 329 in the Gillum Center. Opponents hit just 157. However, South Carolina hit 270 against Ole Miss on Friday. It was the second highest attack percentage Ole Miss's defense has allowed this season. Fingal's first swing off the block and down on Ole Miss's side of the floor. And Tennessee point to start.
Not the way you want to come out if you're Cami Neeson. A little bit of an overpass there. Morgan Fingal with the kill. Not her hardest swing yet. Stay tuned. I guarantee we'll see more.
ABCA second-team All-American a season ago. Two-time All-Southeast region as well from the ABCA. Dice out of the back row. She made a living on Friday night on the pipe. Another swing by Fingal. Scouted by Middleton. Outside. And down for the Lady Vols. 2-0 lead for the 12th ranked team in the nation.
That's a really great slowdown on the block there. Peyton Bergach doing well moving across the floor. A little bit of miscommunication, though, I think, between Neeson and Dice in the back row. As that ball was slowed down, neither one of them moved over to take control of that.
Janasia Moore with their first kill tonight, or today rather, 6-foot graduate student. Ole Miss gets their first point today on the service error. So one thing Eve Rackham-Watt said, something she's been able to compliment about her program that she hasn't been able to in recent years is actually the Lady Vols serving. They're first in the SEC in service aces per set, 2.2. She joked with local media earlier this week, I haven't been able to say that a lot over the years. Off the hands of Anna Baer and Peyton Bergach out of play. There's another kill for Morgan Fingal. 175 kills coming into today, just under 4 kills per set. 3.98, that's fourth best in the SEC, that mark. Off a Dice. And a free ball to Tennessee with a 3-1 lead in the opening set. Over the middle, it's down for Pollock.
Ole Miss a little bit out of control right now in almost every aspect of the game. We're not communicating super well in the back row. They're also not doing the best job of tracking their hitters and controlling those overpasses and those free balls, giving Tennessee a lot of opportunities simply to take care of the ball, not to do anything amazing or spectacular, just to take care of the ball.
Neeson down to the floor to save the volley for Ole Miss after Baer was rejected. Erica Lovett with a tip shot. And bump set right to Baer. Off of Jay Torres from Puerto Rico. Tennessee's libero this afternoon. And Morgan Fingal finishes the job for the Lady Vols. 4 kills for Fingal early in 5 attempts.
That's a tough swing to defend, both from a blocker's perspective, but when you watch Fingal take off, you would assume that she's going to come across her body, sort of swinging in line, right? That strength shot straight down, and she cuts away, but that's just such an odd angle to defend because you're not used to seeing left-handed players.
Morales with a high set to Nia Washington outside. Over setter, and Bree Henry calls for time. Tennessee up. They needed who they had.
Sure.
So they let Janasia Moore essentially go off to Ohio State, and they paid the price, let's just say, for letting her walk away. But full circle, Moore is wearing the Tennessee orange, as they say. And hopefully Tennessee can make some noise in the national tournament this season. But
I think that anytime a player enters the portal like that, the good players are noticed, and you notice when they slip away. So I feel like the second her name popped up, that was a very exciting and also an immediate, what is it going to take to get her here, to get her back? We realize what we let slip away, and we're not going to let it happen twice.
Ashlyn King on this serving run, 6-0 scoring run for Tennessee, and King's ace a moment ago. She had 4 aces, a tie career high for the Lady Vols at Mississippi State on Friday. Morgan Fingal on the swing. She's been red hot early. And Peyton Bergach finally able to get something going for Ole Miss. Just their second point in set 1.
I really think that's all Ole Miss needed. And you kind of saw Bergach with that hand motion after the kill, turning to her team. Let's go. This is how we play. We know what to do here. It's not 0-0, but we can wipe it clean here and turn the tide with this Anna Baer serve.
the senior Bragach, who's eligible for a 5th year next season. Second on Ole Miss in kills this season, leads the SEC in hit percentage. Erica Lovett, wow, what an angle by Lovett. She can fly, the 5'11 junior from Noonan, Georgia.
Lovett is such a fun player to watch. Nia Washington solo on her, but also kind of floating just ever so slightly out towards the pin. She's not a player, Lovett, that you can leave one-on-one like that. And then Cammie Neeson in the back row sinking into the floor, moving in towards the belly just to try and protect that hard-driven shot. Lovett sends it straight to the sideline where defense should start.
Dice was turned away at first, but tooled the block. And Ole Miss down 6, 9-3 in set 1. Julia Dice, on Friday night, we highlighted her to start. 19 kills, career high. And also, Brittany, she did that at a 308 clip, and her 14 digs as well. Tied career high, double-double for Dice.
That's just such a solid performance, both from the defensive side of the ball, but being able to carry a 300 hit percentage with those 19 kills, that's a stud right there.
Whistles intervene. Point for Tennessee. Violation on Ole Miss.
Big goal,
10-3 Tennessee in control of Ole Miss early. As Fingal to serve. 19 aces this season, leads Tennessee. Ratliff turned away. Maggie Miller saves it with a forearm. Ratliff's second time's a charm. They missed her those first 2 matches of SEC play, didn't they?
They did. You know, Tessa Jones did a really nice job of being able to sort of stand in the gap while Sasha was making her way back to the floor. The Atlanta, Georgia native is one, though, that is, to say irreplaceable is maybe not the exact phrase, but she has got big shoes to fill, and you see right there exactly why.
Middleton serves to Torres. Tapped over by the Lady Vols to Cammie Neeson. Dice rejected. Emily Beaker, the reigning SEC co-defensive player of the week, turns her away.
Janasia Moore checking in for the Lady Vols.
That's what I was checking. Watch right there as they go up, they press over at the very end. Beaker hangs and hangs and hangs, but what she doesn't do as she's hanging in the air is bring her hands back. That takes a lot of core and shoulder strength to continue to push over the net and wait for that ball without being in the net.
An ace for Erica Lovett, her 6th on the season, and Tennessee running away with this first set 12-4. They serve right to Middleton, who they aced just a moment ago. A flag went up by one of our line judge officials on the Ole Miss side of things. Doesn't matter. The Rebels do get a point on the block. Ratliff and Bear.
Ole Miss kind of able to scrap some defensive points right now, but they're still not really firing on all cylinders the way we've seen them play at home. Jake, there's little tweaks and things that need to be cleaned up. Not that the other team, whoever it is, whether it's the Lady Vols or whomever, aren't going to earn their points, but you can't give them points because you're sloppy or unprepared or anxious or moving too quickly.
Beaker shoots it long. Ole Miss sides out. So a 12-6 advantage for Tennessee. This match here at Oxford between Ole Miss and Tennessee went to 5 sets last season. Tennessee hit 384 for that match, and Ole Miss swung for 273. What was a difference in that matchup? Ole Miss had 6 less kills than Tennessee did on 9 more attempts. And it was a close matchup too last season, very intense. Tennessee they faced more adversity a season ago than they are this season. They feel like they've got the complete product to make a deep run in the national tournament. Especially with swings like that from Emily Beaker, who Eve Rackham-Watt told us she wasn't necessarily a starter to begin the year. She battled some injury, but you know, with swings like that, she's made some noise, and now she deserves to be in the lineup.
You know, I think you have to look at the full package, and all of these coaches do. It's what is a player adding offensively, defensively, right? Can they earn us points with their level of play? But it's also the presence and kind of the intangibles. And I think Beaker provides that stability in the middle of the floor in her block that allows her the opportunity then to take some swings on offense and gain some points that way as well.
Bear tries again, And denied. Down to the deck. Point for Tennessee.
Off-speed shot was picked up once and then again, but those hands too high. You see Beaker again just hanging, picking up the block. Excuse me, wasn't Beaker.
Pollock,
yes, that's correct.
They're both very physical.
Very
both
physical.
have the same frame.
They are. They do have the same frame, and I saw the ponytail swing, and I thought that's Beaker.
Ole Miss sides out, down 7. And speaking of, Tennessee, in terms of blocking, their blocking unit this season, 7th in the SEC, 2.3. But it seems like their front line is dominating early.
I don't know how much of that Ole Miss should take into account. Tennessee is a solid blocking team, but Ole Miss really is not doing a whole lot to help their cause currently with the way that they're swinging. They're not forcing the block to do something spectacular. The block is simply doing what it's supposed to do, and Ole Miss hasn't really found a way around it yet.
I'm glad you put it that way. Janasia Moore misses outside. Ole Miss climbs a little closer to the Lady Vols. A dump over the net by Caroline Kerr, the Champaign, Illinois native. Shocked we haven't talked about her yet. Nearly 500 assists this season. Leads the way for Tennessee, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week. That was her 5th weekly award already this season. And she serves to Dice. And a bear off the block and down. 15-9. Just Ole Miss's 4th kill of this first set.
A kill through the block there. You see Pollock leaving a little bit of a hole. Anna Baer, not a crazy hard swing, but she's a player as her career has developed. She has been able to use wisdom and discernment in her decision-making about how hard to swing and where to place the ball, and that was a perfect example.
I can see why Eve Rackham-Watts said, Janasia Moore is the left side pin hitter that we've been missing, and with swings like this, I can see why.
I said wisdom and discernment about how to swing and when and where when talking about Anna Baer, but that ball expertly placed, not hit crazy hard with force and intention, but so well placed and such a tough shot for Janasia Moore.
Peyton Brigach didn't get all of it, but it found the floor eventually, and Ole Miss is within 6. Peyton Brigach pacing the way for Ole Miss, just 2 kills in 3 attempts. And Anna Baer back to serve. 12 aces this season, leads the way for Ole Miss. Brigach tries again. Back-to-back kills for Peyton Brigach, her 3rd this afternoon.
I think we see it right there. Ole Miss takes care of a ball. Anna Baer, a nice free ball almost put up to Allie Bareilles, and then a one-on-one situation. Really a late jump in by Fingal, but Peyton Brigach being able to do kind of what she does well, swinging down that power alley.
A rifle by Erica Lovett from the pin. She had 18 kills against Ole Miss last season and 11 digs. And a career best season for the Lady Vols. 379 kills in her first season wearing Tennessee orange. Started her career actually at Bree Henry's alma mater, Long Beach State. Did not play in 2020. Long Beach State didn't compete that year because of COVID. 3 straight points for Peyton Brigach. She's got her Rebels on her back at this moment.
It's made a difference, certainly, in how I think the team is responding. Hopefully now with her subbing out, Kami Neeson coming in to serve, Sasha Ratliff will be able to continue it, but more than that, the offense as a whole will be able to operate in a way that we've come to expect, that we've seen so far this season.
A little too tough by Emily Beaker, misses the back line, and Ole Miss is within 4. Slowly creeping back here, Brittany.
That's all you really need to do against Tennessee. We expected that this was going to be an interesting match, and so far, it's turning out to be true.
And when you're trying to creep back slowly, service errors can shoot you in the foot. But you'd rather miss long because that's an aggressive serve than in the net.
Sure.
Fingal in the win Friday night against Mississippi State, 12 kills. And she collects an ace. 20 aces this season for Morgan Fingal. Leads the way for Tennessee. And her .43 service aces per set. That's 6th in the SEC as well. Our featured SEC, Eve Rackham-Watts, said to us too yesterday, she said, I don't know if we're necessarily rolling like you're indicating, but I do know that the target is getting bigger and bigger on our back every time we win a match.
That's right.
Julia Dice sides out, so Ole Miss still trailing in this match. They're down 5. What do they need to do to climb the mountain?
Control the unforced errors, and it sounds really simplistic in volleyball. This is just the saying. Sports really in general. KISS, keep it simple, silly. That wasn't generally what was said. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be practically perfect.
An ace for Ole Miss, and they're starting to make this interesting mid to late in this first set. Bailey Middleton serves up the ace, her second on the season, and second in back-to-back matches. In the net. What does Bailey Middleton offer? I mean, I know she had a season-high 9 digs in the last match against South Carolina. I mean, that ace was huge. She serves it in the net on her next try, but you're getting closer to Tennessee, even though they're 5 points away here in set 1.
You just want to be able to chip away, whether that's picking up a ball on defense, whether that's controlling a ball on serve receive, or gaining an ace here or there. You want to be able to offer your team something on a consistent basis and not be a liability.
Julia Dice, her 3rd kill on the afternoon.
She skies up over the block. Sorry about that. No. Skies up over the block. That's just control. That's all that is. That's understanding where you are on the block and where the ball is in relation to the rest of the court and placing it well.
Just going to say, continuing where she left off from Friday, but another service error for Ole Miss.
They're unforced, but they're untimely. Now is not the time to be missing. No time is great, but they're unavoidable, right? You want to make sure that ace to error ratio is close. It doesn't have to be 1-to-1, but you don't want to let it get out of control.
Ole Miss only has 2 attack errors so far. Tennessee has 5. Sasha Ratliff halted but out of bounds. It's 21-17. Ole Miss has had some untimely errors. When it seems like they're starting to build some kind of momentum, it's just they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yes, and I was just looking at the stats here. Really, statistically speaking, I think Ole Miss ought to have this thing a little bit closer, but it is those unforced errors. They're hitting at a higher clip right now than Tennessee is by almost 100 points.
Moore put it off the forearms of Ratliff. Back to Tennessee. Janasia Moore again owns the line. 22-17. Tennessee 3 points away from set 1.
That's the first line shot we've really seen. Ali Bareilles leaves it wide open. Bailey Middleton kind of trying to slide over toward the line and call it out. I'd love to see her there first, working into the court. You get hit by a lot more balls when you're in the right defensive position and can move in versus trying to move out and catch something.
Good for Anna Baer. Anna Baer's 3rd on the afternoon.
Positional stability. We've talked about that a lot so far this season. Coach Bree Henry's made a point of mentioning it not just to us but to the team as well. The outsides, the pin hitters and the right sides need to be able to control a majority of the offensive points because they are taking a majority of the swings.
How about that angle for Tennessee? And Claudia Pollock from Poland. Talk about being on top of a set.
Up early in a one-on-one situation with Bergach, who's a great blocker even in solo situations, but you cannot take care of everything, and Pollock able to capitalize on the opportunity she had.
Nice reach by Dice on the serve receive, but Baer sends it wide, and Tennessee now sits on set point. 24-18. They've dominated this set despite Ole Miss out-hitting them. Rebels at 296 and Tennessee at 276. Serve is out, just out for Ashlyn King. You can see her apologizing to her teammates, saying, my bad, it was a close serve. But serves up for set point number 2. Love it, deep tip, covered by Baer. Dice winds and scores.
Showing a little bit of how her tenure has matured her. That's a great cross-court shot, and a well-placed one. Right in between where that middle back defender and left back defender kind of both look at each other and assume that maybe the ball is going to sail out.
Love it. Fielded by Neeson. Washington up with the roll. Kerr to Fingal. And a whistle comes in. Point for Tennessee. And that's the set. Net violation on Ole Miss to end our opening set in the afternoon. Tennessee, 25-20. Set 2 coming up.
And aces and controlling the defensive side of the ball, which sets up offense. So I think Tennessee is doing a lot of little things right, and they did in the first set today. I think it could be a lot more interesting if Ole Miss can cut down on some of those unforced errors and play like the team that we've seen so far this season up to this point.
You also have to credit a coaching staff, too, to prepare the student athletes.
Absolutely.
Point for Tennessee to begin. And entering the weekend as well, Tennessee's outscoring their opponents by 92 in the second set and by 90 in the third set.
Say that again?
So after the first set,
yes,
Tennessee is outscoring their opponents in set 2 by 92 and outscoring their opponents by 90 in the third set. That was coming into the weekend.
Wow.
And a Bear side's out for Ole Miss, 1-1 in set 2.
You know, I was looking at how close this first set was. It really was pretty close, 25-20, and Tennessee ran away with it at the beginning part of the set. But the side-out percentage was 70 and 56, I think, 70 for Tennessee and 56 for Ole Miss at the start of this second set. So both teams doing a good job, and on their own, obviously Tennessee's is higher, but that 10-15 percentage points really makes a difference in how a team is able to then go on and earn kills. They're taking care of that first contact, and they're scoring on it.
A couple of really nice digs this volley, and a score for Washington. Boy, everybody was all over the floor keeping that volley alive, and that may be the swing Ole Miss needs to build some momentum in this match.
Just fun to watch. That's the volleyball that everyone wants to see, right? It's entertaining. It's fast-paced. There's some scrappy defense. There's some smart shots on offense. Nia Washington making a splash here in her freshman campaign for the Rebels. She's been able to be a big part of this kind of three-hitter outside right side rotation that Ole Miss has going, whether they're using one or two setters in their offense.
Claudia Pollock with the flush, and you feel for someone like Cammie Neeson, who was in the right position. It just was off her forearms, a little off because it barely went out of bounds up and over the net. Even at 2 in set 2. Backside to Bear, turned away. Point Lady Vols. Erica Lovett getting high.
You know, not a real hard swing by Anna Bear. Erica Lovett going up and taking away appropriate space, and Anna Bear probably trying to kind of tool hands there, but not swinging high enough for it to do that.
Payne Bergach continues to be efficient. 4 kills, 5 attempts.
I think you said it, Jake. She just continues to get it done. She does what she needs to do when the ball is put in front of her, when she's asked to do something with it, not just in a good swing, forcing Tennessee to make a move. She's simply putting the ball away. She is definitively ending it. 800 hit percentage for her today, watered down by, I believe she had a block and maybe one hitting error, but the attempts is also going to start to water that down as well.
Tennessee back out in front after the kill by Claudia Pollock, and Ole Miss unable to respond. Point for Tennessee. Jay Torres with the ace, her 16th this season. And Torres serves to Miller. Dice just long. And the Lady Vols have strung together some points to take a 6-3 lead in set 2. Jay Torres, a transfer from Bowling Green, led BG to a couple of NCAA tournament appearances. Serves outside the line, and Ole Miss is within 2. There you see Torres leads Tennessee in digs and digs per set. She has over 1,200 digs in her career now after recording 26 digs in Friday night's win against Mississippi State. Erica Lovett terminates. That gives Tennessee a little more cushion.
Really nice setup there for Lovett to be able to swing a perfectly handled ball put up for her.
Morgan Fingal errorless so far this afternoon. She also has an ace, along with her 4 kills and 10 attempts. Boy, this weekend we're witnessing the emergence of Julia Dice.
I'm hoping for Ole Miss, and I'm sure the staff is as well, that maybe this is the outside presence, the stability kind of 0-1 position, though we've talked about how there's really 3 players that sort of make up that hybrid outside position with the way that they're rotating right now, Jake. But I think that she is establishing herself on the outside as a presence, a dominant presence. Whether it continues to be the case, we'll have to kind of continue to follow along and see, but right now it looks that way.
Another violation on Ole Miss, and a 3-point advantage now for the 12th ranked team in the country in Tennessee. Their highest ranking since 2006. They are also ranked 12th that year. Dice off the block and out. And Julia Dice leads Ole Miss this afternoon with 6 kills. She had 53 attempts on Friday night along with her career high 19 kills. She's already at 12 today.
That wasn't as surprising to me as maybe at home if you're watching you think 53 swings, that's a lot. It was a 5-set match, so you're looking at about 10 per set, even though that 5th set's cut short by 10 points. Outsides, though, get so many, I don't want to say trash balls or garbage balls, but they're asked to do a lot with not a little sometimes, or with just a little sometimes.
Janasia Moore converts for Tennessee, her 5th kill today. She sat on 999 career kills coming into today and has reached the 1,000 plateau and a little more.
Watched her swing down the line again there, some space given again by Allie Bareilles, and she's a player that just with her pedigree and her career, you can't give that kind of space to. She's smart enough to continue to exploit it.
5 aces today for Tennessee. And Bree Henry's called a timeout. She wants to talk things over with Ole Miss. Tennessee.
Volleyball, when I was coming up playing, and I know that this hasn't changed, is 1 contact. You want to offer your opponent 1 contact if you're serving, and that is the first time that they touch the ball. So Ole Miss serving here is their 1 contact. Tennessee wanting to put it away now that they've got the ball back.
Kerr is rejected. Sasha Ratliff credited with the block, and Ole Miss within 3. Sasha Ratliff, 335 blocks in her career. She's now taken solely the 5th most blocks in a career at Ole Miss, passing Ty Laporte's 334. Unbelievable career that Sasha Ratliff has had, and it's continuing. Dice from the back, dug by Torres. Here's more. Denied. Peyton Burgach halts the shot.
That's the block. It is so fun. I have goosebumps. It's so fun as a player to roof a ball like that. You can't not get excited. You can't expect it to happen every time because it realistically isn't going to, but when it does, man, does it feel good.
Love it with the changeup. Bump set to Bear. Patted back to her. Tries again. Another block for Ole Miss, and it finds the deck. 1 point, 2nd set.
You know, Ole Miss not doing, I don't want to say they're not doing anything spectacular. It's a great block by Burgach, and we've seen some phenomenal swings across the offensive front for Ole Miss, but they're simply taking care of the ball by keeping it in play. Scoring when they have the opportunity to, but keeping it in play, and we see Tennessee not coming on as strong offensively as they did, I feel, in the first set.
Fingal dug by Middleton. Ole Miss on a 3-0 scoring run. Middleton dives for it. That's the third touch rather by Ratliff. And a good effort by Ole Miss, but Tennessee converts, and they're back up 2.
Kevin Neeson back on the floor for the
Not often you see Sasha Ratliff going to the deck.
It isn't. I was about to
get a
say,
ball.
it was to sound cliche. I love to see that kind of, it's almost as exciting, honestly, for a middle, at least all the middles that I knew, playing to get a big defensive play or a save like that in the back row, because they never get to be back there unless if they're serving.
4 kills today for Anna Bear. And now both teams just altering points about midway through this second set. Bear with also 15 attempts, hitting under 100, 0.67. And a substitution for Tennessee, Kiki Granberry, also the team leader in solo blocks from Winter Garden, Florida, in the match. Saw Claudia Pollock return to the bench for the Lady Vols. Service runs long. 4 of them today now for Ole Miss, and they've been aced 5 times. Ashlyn King from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 6'1" junior, whispers the serve off the tape. Bergach smoked it.
You know, we talked to Peyton Bergach a little bit a few matches back, Jake, and she said, I'm trying to vary up the way that I hit the ball, because I know that every team in the SEC has me pegged for a power alley, power hitter, straight on. 6 kills today, a 625 clip, and she got that last one by cutting across her body, thumb up.
Dice finishes. That swing doesn't happen without the deflection at the net by Ole Miss, and Anna Bear kind of chicken-winged the deflection.
She's playing beach volleyball. That's what she's doing in the back row. We're just getting a hand on it. We're just keeping it up, and really that's all defense is. Put your body between the ball and the floor.
Even at 12, set 2, Tennessee has a 1-0 lead. Barella scouts the tip by Lovett. Joust at the net. Kerr flew in there. Lovett off the block. Anna Bear with the shovel. Washington. Whistle on the floor. Point Ole Miss. Lovett in the net. Ole Miss's first lead of the afternoon.
You see the difference offensively, Jake. Nia Washington, honestly, I swear she looked like she jumped higher there. And maybe there's something to that, right? When you feel the momentum and the energy shift, not just in the gym, which we can feel here in the booth, but on the floor, that's something that the players really are the ones to experience there. When you feel that shift in your team, it makes you want to step on the gas. It makes you want to put some gasoline on the fire to keep this thing going, right? You want to be a spark plug for your team, and then you don't want to be the one that stops the momentum.
Lovett kisses the line, that's in. And Bree Henry approaches the scorer's table and challenges that last shot by Lovett. Crowd didn't agree with it, and clearly neither did Ole Miss's coaching staff. So our first challenge on the afternoon, and the score stands right now 13-13. All right, we're putting your challenge record to test here as well, Brittany McLaughlin, as we see it for the first time.
Immediately out. That was my jerk reaction. And I'll say that former volleyball players have that ball's out. A special knack for a love-hate, mostly hate relationship. I don't want to say with line judges, because it's not that. It's with being a line judge, because in club volleyball, you're always going to have a player that's going to be the down official, right? Which sounds odd. I know you have an up official on every court in club volleyball, and then you have a down official, and you have to provide the line judges. So every volleyball player, whether they're good or bad, has experience with being a line judge. So immediately out. Immediately out.
Both teams begin with 2 challenges. If it's reversed, you retain the challenge. If it's upheld, you lose the challenge. And of course, in the 5th set, each team receives an extra. And if you're a master lip reader, you could probably assume what's coming.
Sometimes if you can't read lips, you can tell by how long the down official spends at the scorer's book to see what they're doing.
Call is reversed, and Bree Henry is on a successful challenge spree this weekend. Had some clutch challenges reversed in the 5th set against South Carolina on Friday and gets that one reversed to, instead of a tied 2nd set, her team's up 2. Tennessee goes to Fingal, and it's out. Ole Miss's biggest lead on the afternoon against Tennessee, and Eve Rackham-Watt calls timeout. 15-12, Ole Miss in control of number 12 Tennessee in set 2 after dropping set 1 25-20. Peyton Burgott.
You know, if I'm below 400, I think, man, I could do better. If you're a baseball player hitting that, I mean, you're doing pretty solid. And honestly, for volleyball, you are too. She's just come to expect such a standard of play from herself, and I think that shows in the way that she approaches her game.
Tennessee so good at siding out. They do there, down 2 to Ole Miss. And Burgach too, she's had success too, even Bree Henry saying with teams commit blocking her as well. As Tennessee, the violation. Interesting, Ole Miss point.
You know, I saw the net move. We'll see if there's a challenge here. The jersey can touch, which I think, honestly, I think may be what happened. Jersey and hair don't count. And I know that maybe is confusing because, yes, it is part of the player, but when you consider a ponytail might be 2 feet longer. And honestly, for Beaker there, when she whips her hair around, it is. I do think it might have been her jersey. No other part of your body can touch. So we'll have to see. No, you know what I think it was? I'll be honest. I think it was Ali Bareilles. Looked like her right hip as she comes down on that ball. I thought it might have been Beaker's jersey. She's not close enough to the net to do that. So
instead, they called the net violation on Tennessee when it was actually Bareilles
I think
that should have been in the net.
It's pretty clear to me, but we'll have to see.
This is a pretty quick review, too.
And it matters, as we saw that 2-point swing. That's kind of what we're talking about here. And at 13-16 in the 2nd set, it makes a difference for Tennessee, who's leading this thing 1-0. And
it's reversed, so point for Tennessee. So both teams retain their challenge because they were both successful. So it's 15-14, Ole Miss up 1. And Jay Torres serving. A near overpass and patted out of bounds. Tied 2nd set.
Not a lot Ali Bareilles could do with that, and there wasn't really a lot Peyton Burgach could do with it either. Just hoping to keep the ball in play and force Tennessee to make a move on it. You know, take a breath, reset defensively, and hope that the ball comes back across the net.
Washington rejected, saved by Bareilles. Fingal makes something out of nothing. And Tennessee regains the lead in set 2.
It's such a good shot by Fingal. Out of system, off the net a little bit, but you can see the Ole Miss block better from the other angle. Julia Dice sets it up too wide for how far off the net Morgan Fingal is, and the fact that she's left-handed. So Morgan Fingal was able to take a power swing on a ball that was out of system, and she really probably shouldn't have been able to.
Bareilles, another fist to keep the volley alive. Off the top of the net, last touch by Tennessee, point Ole Miss. And we're even again in set 2. This is a lot closer than set 1. Tennessee was dominating early. Ole Miss got some points when things seemed like they were going to be out of reach to make it a little closer, but set 2 completely different than set 1.
I think Ole Miss has controlled the controllables. Right, they've cut down on their unforced errors, but Tennessee is also making a few more than we saw in the last match.
A rifle by Neil Washington, but out of play, and no contact at the net. 12th ranked Lady Vols regain the lead. In this set, Tennessee hitting 0-8-0. Ole Miss is swinging 120. And a service error by Morgan Fingal. Levels us at 17. Tennessee did not play a clean match against Mississippi State on Friday. In fact, they hit a second season low 213. And Eve Rackham-Watt said, thank goodness we served good. We had 11 aces in that match. Fingal from the back. Dominant swing.
Point, Tennessee.
Without sounding, uneducated about the game, she's just really, really stinking good. She has such a good command of the ball. That's what I noticed there on that swing. She hit it powerfully, but she placed it exactly where she wanted to. She went towards the weakest of the back row defenders, I think, in Bailey Middleton, though that's not to say that she's not a good player. I think Fingal just knows. She inherently knows where the weaker spots and defenses are going to be, or hitting between players, and she placed it perfectly.
And Janasia Moore had a good swing on the overpass, but she hit the net on the way down. 18-18. Entertaining and fun second set in Oxford. Kerr sets outside. Moore gets the swing back. And we're teetering in set two. And Eckler back in this matchup for Tennessee. And will serve for the Lady Vols. Ratliff off the block and out. Sasha Ratliff, 3 kills, 6 attempts.
We saw the graphic earlier how she and Peyton Bergach are leading the league, and I think part of that is owed to how Ole Miss has structured their offense, number one, but the way that they've been able to take care of the ball. You can't involve your middles in your offense as heavily as Ole Miss has been able to do if you can't control your first contact.
Roll by Dice. You don't get the roll without the dig from Sasha Ratliff, right on cue.
That's right. It's so much fun. It is. It's like liberos getting a back row kill. It'd be, instead of Julia Dice, if Cammie Neeson had gotten that down ball kill right there. It's just exciting to be able to contribute to your to your team in a meaningful way that's outside of your normal contribution.
Sasha Ratliff has 2 digs now in the afternoon. Her career high is 7, and she got that this year. Bear on an overpass. I believe she planted that off of Tennessee last. Or was it off the net? Tennessee keeps the point. Call right now is point Tennessee. Boy, that play happened so quick. I don't know if the ball hit the top of the tape and not Tennessee, or Lady Vols' hands and then on a play. It all just happened so quick.
It happened quickly. I do think that we'll see if it's actually challenged or if there's just something being questioned here. I do think that the ball was touched by Tennessee, and I'm trying to take quick stock here. I think that we have a back row attack situation. Not back row attack. She's just going back to serve now, but that she touched the ball again right here.
Kerr clearly touches it, and Bear does as well, but the question is, does Kerr touch it after Bear touches it? And Bree Henry's challenging this. She's 1 for 1 on challenges this afternoon. So our replay official as well asked, is she challenging whether this is out of bounds or if this was off Tennessee after the swing?
I think, admittedly, not great with physics and things here, but I don't see how it could not have gone off of Tennessee and come off at the angle that it did, but admittedly.
Well, Bree Henry's frustrated. That challenge lasted all but 15 seconds. And after her first explanation, she said, what? So a little bit of disbelief from Bree Henry. And whether or not she's satisfied with that second explanation, seems like we're just going to let this be. Point Tennessee, we're tied up at 20. That was very confusing. I'm not sure if the explanation she got was something she didn't understand or the officials just didn't understand. An ace for Tennessee, and they're up 1. Kerr with the ace. Neeson finds Anna Bear. She's denied. Tennessee up 2. Timeout, Bree Henry and Ole Miss.
A high hand swing by Anna Bear, the block doing what it needed to do and continuing to press and redirect that ball. Ole Miss looking for a pickup kind of out of that secondary coverage, just not able to find it.
Tennessee this season, you see what they've done at this point. They've won their last 7 matches. They're 5-1 on the road, and in fact, their only loss this season is to the top-ranked team in the country. So it's a pretty good season recap up to this point.
If I had to pick my one, South Carolina on Friday, and that's kind of the nature of the SEC, but truly to be able to turn around and take on a team like Tennessee, it's not like Ole Miss hasn't had ample time to also prepare for them, and I think that it's come down to execution so far in this match, Jake. Tennessee simply executing the game plan better than Ole Miss is right now.
Dolphin dive by Neeson, but Bear was scooped by Torres. Off the block, and another good one by Neeson. Dice just long. Tennessee creeping closer to a 2-0 lead in Oxford. In a match that went in 5 sets and was won by the Lady Vols a season ago. Caroline Kerr, the redshirt freshman setter from Champaign. Dice cut off by Torres. Moore with the changeup. Set point for Tennessee. Up 4.
Kind of trying to watch the Ole Miss coaching staff here, Jake, to see what sort of instruction I can maybe infer that they're giving their team. Ole Miss really just needs to be able to control their first contact. They've not had a great serve-receive day today. We've seen what happens when they do it well. You get balls pounded by Burgach and Ratliff.
Moore off the block and out. Tennessee ends set 2 on a 6-0 scoring run to go up 2. The flip side for Tennessee, this is a team that hits .311. First in the SEC in attack percentage. They hit just 154 last set, but they end set 2 on a 6-0 run to pull away. That's what great teams do, don't they?
They do, especially when it comes to that 19, 20-point range. Whether you're tied or not, you have to be, with the way that this rally scoring era works, you have to be on. If the other team chooses just a little bit even, just to step on the gas, it can be over in a matter of minutes.
A block for Tennessee to begin set 3. And Peyton Burgach, her second attack error today. And when it comes to her efficiency, 2 is a lot.
I did kind of think that ball might have been touched. And that was my first inclination because we really don't see a lot of Peyton Burgach error blocks, which count as a hitting error, but we don't see a lot of just straight out errors either.
Dump over the net, pat down by Claudia Pollock. And Tennessee's opened up set 3 on a 3-0 run. All behind the serving arm of Kerr. Who has a fascinating story in how she got to Tennessee in Knoxville. Dice from the back, and it was touched by Lovett. And Ole Miss is on the board in set 3.
That's the kind of powerful swing Ole Miss needed. I think still the biggest detriment to the offensive flow right now for the Rebels is their control of first contact, whether that's serve on the defensive side of the ball.
How about that sharp angle from Janasia Moore? Crushed that one.
Dirty. I had a bit of a disgruntled look, not because there was anything wrong with that swing, but it was filthy.
And as a defense, you can't do much there.
You can't. There's a hole in the block, but you have to expect that a player like Janasia Moore is going to capitalize on it and kind of make you pay.
And a Bear backside finds space. And Ole Miss within 2. Relying on Anna Baer, Ole Miss's offense. Her 5 kills. Now she's swinging 0. Not an efficient weekend for Anna Baer. But some others around her have helped pick her up. But Julia Dice, Nia Washington as well. Deflection off the block and good for Claudia Pollock. Pollock had 4 kills last Friday against Mississippi State. And after that one, she's come into Oxford with 6 kills and 10 attempts. 4 blocks, a very good day for Pollock.
Kind of what we've seen on the offensive side of the ball for Ole Miss as well. Well, defensive too, I suppose, if you consider the blocks that Burgach and Ratliff have gotten and assisted with. You just need your middles to be a presence. They're not going to win games, and that's not because they're not capable athletes, but offenses in volleyball don't run that way. Your pin hitters drive your offense, so you just need your middles to contribute and be consistent.
Torres, the Bowling Green transfer, serves up and over. Burgach deflected and scores for Ole Miss. And Torres went into the Tennessee bench for that one. Good effort by the Tennessee libero, but Ole Miss is within 3. You know, in Torres, Bowling Green transfer, her old coach, Daniela Tomic at Bowling Green, actually had Eve Rackham-Watt on her staff at FIU a couple of years ago. So how about Eve Rackham-Watt taking
kind of able to
her
pluck
former
one out
boss's
there.
libero? We joked about that in our call yesterday.
All in good fun.
I said, really, Daniela just let you take her libero? Yeah. You know, she had a laugh about that one as well. But Tennessee actually played Bowling Green a couple of years ago as well, and Coach was telling the Bowling Green staff, she said, you know, I really love your libero. And when Torres went into the transfer portal, she called Torres
immediately.
Yeah,
right.
immediately. But yes, like you said, all in good fun. Vivian Miller, this is the first time we've said her name today into serve for Ole Miss. In the net. And also Friday night, Vivian Miller only played a couple of sets. And interesting too, because Miller last season scored a career 20, she had 21 kills against Tennessee. That's her career high.
It's a great serve.
And Miller's first swing today finds the deck. And Ole Miss is within 3. Vivian Miller's up to 91 kills now this season, 2.5 kills per set. At Auburn, struggled, had 4 kills and 6 errors, but hit .385 against Alabama to open SEC play. She had 13 kills. And Dice a little short on the dig attempt as Tennessee goes up 4.
You know, for my part, I'm not exactly sure why Julia Dice is cutting in front of the libero to try and take that ball defensively.
Timeout Ole Miss as number 12 Tennessee has a 9-5 lead in set 3.
Accolades, you know, player of the week, offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week, freshman of the week, team of the week.
Is there another weekly award we're missing that Tennessee hasn't won yet?
Setter of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
Pat down by Baer, but it's out of play. Went one-on-one with Tennessee's setter, Caroline Kerr. And it's a 5-point advantage for Tennessee, who has 5 kills and 5 attempts. Swinging 1,000. Ole Miss, 4 kills and 2 errors, 7 attempts at .286. Sasha Ratliff on the slide. Can that be the swing to get Ole Miss back into this set?
Ole Miss just needs to take care of business, and that, well, yes, Brittany, they do. I mean, their individual business, right? Setters need to put up the best ball for their hitters, not just in terms of the physical ball, but make sure that it is one that flows well against the defensive scheme that Tennessee is running. And I think, too, on defense, Ole Miss has to be able, at serve receive as well, to take care of that first contact, take care of business for the simple.
A pancake nearly flipped by Sasha Ratliff, the 6'2 middle down to the deck. But the officials ruled it down, and Tennessee has a 5-point advantage once more, 11-6. Good serve. Free ball back to Tennessee. Eason covers the tip. And Brgac couldn't finish. Fingal, on the other hand, does. Fingal up to double figures today in kills. She's got 10, swinging 300.
You know, you would see that for, and I say an outside, yes, Fingal is a pin hitter, but as a right side specifically, that just shows how effective and almost dependent Tennessee is on her as part of their offense as a right side player.
Janasia Moore's 5th attack error today. However, she too has 10 kills. Her and Morgan Fingal pacing Tennessee at the pins here this afternoon, and rightfully so. They've been doing it all season for the Lady Vols. Allie Bareilles serves up and over. And that swing somehow finds the deck for Tennessee. Pollock has 7 kills, along with her 4 blocks, hitting .545 now. And nothing against Claudia Pollock, but I don't think anyone expected those kinds of numbers from her today.
Immediate impact. That's the first thing that comes to mind, is immediate impact.
But you expect that from Fingal. It's an All-American type swing, and Ole Miss takes a timeout.
A magnificent swing, a magnificent swing. Down the line again, we've seen that a lot.
The critically acclaimed leads Tennessee in service aces this season. She's done more than just become someone who just swings hard at the pin.
Sure, and I think, you know, really, you need to be more of a utility player when you're in the front row. You can't just be about getting kills. You can't be a liability blocking, but it's better when you can set up a good block and get a few solo blocks on your own. Better still if you can earn some points, or again, not be a liability behind the service line. And so I think that Fingal is showing that, you know, there's more to her game than just, like you said, being able to swing hard.
Eason's 3rd touch. She couldn't put it over. An ace for Tennessee. And it's all Lady Vols here in set 3. After a back and forth second set, set 3 is all Tennessee. And Ashlyn King has 2 aces. She had 4 on Friday night. And she gets back-to-back. Tennessee's up 10, their largest lead of the entire match.
You know, the Lady Vols really just commanding this 3rd set. I had expected to see Ole Miss come out with a little bit more fire even, and so far Tennessee has controlled the entire tempo of this set.
It's because of their serving. I mean, serving's a big reason why. You've harped on Ole Miss's serve receive a lot today. Pollock with another kill. Give her 8 today.
Great swing by Pollock there. A good job by Peyton Brgac trying to take away some area. Anna Baer sort of jumping in at the last second. All that does is take away a little bit of defendable area. Most of what was taken away was outside the court. Back to what you were saying, though, about serving and serve-receive. Ole Miss is a better serve-receive team than this. Tennessee is a very good serving team. So I think what we're seeing is both ends of the spectrum for these teams. The positive, obviously, for Tennessee is that their serving game has been very strong today. The negative side of that is that Ole Miss's serve-receive is quite a bit weaker.
You know, we've had a lot of matches at the Gillum Center this season. This is the quietest I think it's been all season. And Eve Rackham-Watt talked about that too. We have to control the environment. Pollock dug by Neeson, slammed down by Erica Lovett though on the overpass. 19-8. And we haven't said Erica Lovett's name a lot today, but you know, she's still having a good match. 5 kills and 15 attempts.
A smart swing there. I was looking just a second on the replay. I didn't think she had hit the net, though there was quite a bit of movement. It was the ball as she came down, so still playing smart, even with the limited interaction that she's getting on the outside pin.
Back-to-back ones for Lovett now. You know, Erica Lovett dominated Ole Miss last year 18 kills, 11 digs. She swung 220 for that match. She had 379 kills a season ago. That was second most on the team. Burgach turned away. They try her again. From the seat of her pants, timeout King. Keeping the volley alive. Burgach couldn't get it the third time. Dug by Torres. 4 times. Boy, how frustrating is that if you're Burgach?
It's frustrating, but she does something really smart, recognizing I'm overset, or early, a little bit of both. But what I can do is throw this ball down the middle of the floor, not in a true sense of the rule book throw, though there were some Tennessee players that immediately wanted to jump on that. She didn't bring the ball from behind her head. She caught it in front. It didn't stay in her hand longer than a second, which is kind of the objective. Did she carry the ball across the net? I don't think she did. It was just a smart play by a veteran player.
Kerr finds Beaker over the middle, and Beaker finishes the job. Kerr today has 35 assists in this matchup, Brittany, and we're in set 3. Make that 36 assists now, rather. Redshirted last year, did not play. Now she leads the SEC in assists per set. She has 11.2. Another fantastic dig by Torres, but the touch out of play. Point Ole Miss. Cool story of Carolyn Kerr, too. I mean, she was a player that really was on Eve Rackham-Watt's radar, but also not really. She was a good setter, but physically needed to develop a little bit. She went to some Tennessee camps, and what stuck with Eve Rackham-Watt the most was Kerr went up to coach Rackham-Watt afterward and asked, hey, what can I do to get better? And that stuck with Coach Rackham-Watt for a long time, and next thing you know, Kerr becomes a Tennessee Lady Vol and leading the 12th ranked team in the country.
You know, sometimes it isn't about the most talented player. It's about who's going to work the hardest in the gym, and especially from your setter. I would say that is an incredibly important quality to have. You want your setter to be one of the hardest working players on your team, even though they're not going to score points. And I say that not that they might not get, a kill or two by dumping the ball or an ace or two. Really with hardest worker, get in line, Ducks. Everybody, let's go.
Coach Rackham-Watt said, she didn't complain at all. All she did was say, thank you for the opportunity. How can I get better? And that type of attitude sticks with you.
I love it.
As a head coach. Here she is setting Lovett on the outside and getting another point for Tennessee.
She heard you. That's what happened, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Erica Lovett. She said, wait a second. My name's not been in your mouth enough. She's had quite a few kills here in the last five or 6 points.
Yeah, she showed out here in set 3. Well, we've said Morgan Fingal a lot and Janasia Moore a lot, but, Erica Lovett can ball out too. She did last year.
Phenomenal performance.
But now that Tennessee has options at the pin, she doesn't have to be as involved, or I guess doesn't have to feel the pressure to score as much as she had to last year. Kerr with the tip. Eason flies in for the dig. Fingal denied. Net bounces around. And in fact, it was a four hits for Tennessee, not a block for Ole Miss.
I like that set selection by Kerr going to Fingal in the back row. She's in the front right now, so that means she's only got 2 hitters. That doesn't mean she can't be an offensive presence herself, but when you consider that you've got Lovett and Fingal in the back row, you really have 4 hitters. So a smart decision, I think, by Kerr, even though it didn't work out for the point.
Off Tennessee hands. A free ball back to Ole Miss. Ratliff with the slide.
Can I just make a noise?
Sure.
Is that, that's what I wanted to do when I saw. That's such a great, it's a smart shot. We've seen Sasha Ratliff run behind the setter. She loves to come off 1 foot behind the setter. Teams know that. She likes to go across her body a lot as well, kind of back in towards the court. Swinging down the line there, she didn't have a lot of real estate, but it was chef's kiss, perfection.
4 contacts by Tennessee. Ole Miss rattles off back-to-back points. Their backs up against the wall in set 3. Tennessee up 2-0. Ole Miss has scored the last 3 points. Beg your pardon. As Dice goes back to serve. Leads Ole Miss with 9 kills this afternoon. And boots it a little strong. 23-14. Tennessee on top. And Eve Rackham-Watt joked with us earlier about, every time we go to Oxford, it seems like this match goes to 5. Not the case this afternoon. Our team in the driver's seat taking care of business in the Magnolia State as a whole. Friday night against Mississippi State, and here this afternoon against Ole Miss. Tip shot by Ratliff. That goes. Kill number 7 rather, for Sasha.
Ole Miss is showing a little bit of that energy. I'm afraid it's going to end up being too little too late, but we know that they're a team that's capable of it.
Tennessee's hitting .583 for this set. Can you have a more complete set than what they're putting together right now?
Honestly, they've commanded every category. We saw first statistically earlier on that graphic in so many categories, and I think that this proves exactly why.
Timeout, Ole Miss. Never mind, they're out of timeouts. This previous play is under review, beg your pardon. So Ole Miss is challenging a net violation. And I don't know if our down official even went to the monitor. If he did, one sentence was exchanged and that was it.
Just a tap. Just a tap. I don't think it was on Bergach. I think it was on Ali Burrell. It's kind of tough to tell there.
Tennessee sits on match point. And a bear keeps this matchup alive. See Nia Washington back out on the floor. Vivian Miller back to the bench as Bareilles goes back to serve. Fingal off the block and out. And that's all she wrote from Oxford. Tennessee takes care of business and sweeps Ole Miss 25-20, 25-20, and 25.
रहबै के करा से दू बोलिया बोलबै अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़बै के करा सहारे रहबै के करा से दू बोलिया बोलबै अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़ब के रानी स्वामी लागे आंसुआ गिरैले देहिया काप के लगे जा के रानी हमर अखिया से आंसू